It Must Be Heaven was selected for competition at last year's Cannes Film Festival, which is always a prestigious debut for a film. It's the work of Palestinian filmmaker Elia Suleiman, and his concern for the identification of his native land is indicated in the film's dedication to Palestine. Suleiman appears throughout the film, never saying a word except in the first bizarre and funny sequence. He just stoically observes the world around him, firstly in Nazareth, where he encounters his neighbours, the son who intrudes into his garden to tend his lemon tree, the father who tells outlandish stories about encounters with the snake. They appear, son and father, to be at odds with one another. There are scenes with thugs brandishing baseball bats, a man with a black eye being observed urinating by police with binoculars, two police driving next to Suleiman exchanging sunglasses. It's comical until we become aware of a blindfolded woman in the back seat. There's the elegance of a Bedouin woman walking through olive trees. And then in Paris, the elegance of French women with their short skirts, long legs and chic outfits. But Paris is also unsettling, as three cops on motorised scooters are choreographed inspecting a car under which there may be a bomb, and where Suleiman is silently intimidated by a tattooed thug on the metro. Paris seems deserted apart from a parade of horses and of tanks. Then it's a trip to New York where a tarot card reader, Stephen McHattie, predicts the creation of Palestine. Oh, but not in their lifetimes. And where Gael Garcia Bernal tries to introduce him to a film producer to little effect. These three cities are known to the filmmaker. He's lived in all of them. And he brings a knowing, comical and political eye to this beautifully created and shot film. Sofian El Fani was the cinematographer. It's a meditative film with a whimsical eye for the small details and absurdities of life that unsettle in a comic way. Suleiman's wry presence as a Palestinian at home and abroad gives insight into the oppressive elements of life that are not restricted to his home country. It's a delight, this film, but it may not be for everyone. His significance as an award-winning filmmaker, however, almost demands we pay attention to this, his latest work.
Yes, it is an absolutely beguiling film, this. And I love the way the comedy is characterised by choreographed synchronicity, which is just quite superbly done, and it's often quite unexpected. Every now and again, characters do things together for no reason at all. There's one scene in a cafe where some people over there in the cafe are drinking coffee or water up and down. He's drinking something in the other part of the cafe, and their cups all are timed to go down exactly at the same moment. So there's a scene with the cops on segways that do like a wonderfully choreographed dance routine on these segways as they're looking for a guy who's thrown, as it turns out, a thing of flowers under a car outside his window. He's watching from the top. He's always watching with that funny look. It's not quite Jacques Tati, it's not quite Marcel Marceau, but it's kind of in that territory, but not quite as neat as their comedy, which probably makes it sort of more interesting in some respects. There's a touch of Buster Keaton about elements too, the sort of the deadpan way. He never smiles. He hardly ever has an expression on his face. He just observes as you say, the absurdities and sort of silliness of life elsewhere and in Palestine itself, suggesting in the end that really whatever happens to Palestine, things are not that bad because the rest of the world is actually much the same. We're all kind of universal entities.
Well, yes, I think he's looking at the oppressive nature of wherever you are in the world these days. But that final scene in the film where you sort of get a little hint of a smile on his face was actually shot in Tel Aviv.
It's a really joyous celebration. It's a nightclub scene. And young people, the future of Palestine, are all dancing with their hands in the air or arms in the air, and that has a wonderful sort of feel to it.
Apparently it's a gay club too. It's sort of, I don't know. I mean, there's something very beguiling about this film.
And there's some sharp satire, though some might find it heavy-handed, I don't know, but when he arrives in New York, he looks around everywhere he goes. Everywhere he looks, everybody has machine guns slung over their shoulders. There are pregnant women pushing carts and baby prams with shotguns, and it's very funny. It's the kind of view of America that so many of us have. I love that scene.
So what are you giving it?
I'm giving this 4.5. I love this film.
I'm giving it 4. 4 for me.
Mm-hmm.